Hello students, welcome again. I hope you all are doing good at your place. As I discussed in my previous video that I will re-explain the subject electrical measurement and instrumentation, that is EMI in English, so that it can be helpful for a large number of students who are asking to upload the videos in English also. Okay, although there is a large gap between the introduction of the subject and the starting of the syllabus, I will try my best to upload the videos as soon as possible. Okay, so today onward we will discuss the different topics of this subject as we have discussed in the introduction of this subject. So first unit will be error analysis. While discussing the error analysis, we will discuss three important topics. First one will be characteristics of the instruments. Okay, and we will cover different static and dynamic characteristic of the instrument. We will discuss different types of error. Okay, and we will also have a brief discussion about the units and dimensions that are basically used to mention the measured quantity. Okay, characteristics of instruments are basically few qualities or few important parameters that you consider before selecting a proper measuring unit for your application. For an example, if you are going to purchase a new mobile, first you will decide at which area you have to use this mobile most of the time. If you are a person who wants to click every moment of your daily life, then you will give the most important attention toward the camera features. What is the megapixel capacity, what are the number of cameras available, what are the different shooting modes available in your mobile. If you are using your mobile as a second node of your workplace, or you are having it as an extension of your laptop, then you will ask for the storage capacity, memory capacity, what is the RAM capacity, what is the ROM capacity, how much memory can be extended to this mobile so that you can store a large number of files in your mobile. So according to your application, according to your budget and according to the type of user, you will select a particular instrument. Similarly, when we are going to measure a quantity, we will decide who is going to measure. If a student is going to use this instrument, then we will consider some specific parameters. If this instrument is going to be used in a professional research application, then we will give emphasis to different parameters, and if it is an industrial purpose, then what kind of parameters we will consider. These all are covered in the characteristics of instruments. These all parameters play a very vital role to have a correct value measured by the instrument. Okay. While considering the different characteristics of instruments, we will discuss static and dynamic characteristics. What does it mean by static and dynamic characteristics, and when we have to take care of these characteristics? Basically, static characteristics are considered when you are going to measure a quantity that is not changing with the time. You have to measure a quantity once or some multiple times, and you are assured that this is not going to change, and whenever you are noting the reading, it will be the same quantity. So if you are measuring the same quantity 10 times, or if you are measuring 10 different quantities, you will go for the static characteristics analysis of a given instrument. When your input signal is a time variable signal and it is changing very fast with the time, and if you are not able to follow your instrument is not able to follow the input variation, then you will consider the dynamic characteristics. In static characteristics, we will concentrate over accuracy, sensitivity, resolution, precision, linearity, etc. In dynamic characteristics, as the input is changing with the time, you have to consider the frequency range of the instrument, the bandwidth available of the instrument, time response, delay time, rise time of the instrument, so that you can sense either your selected measuring unit will be able to correctly measure the input or not. These all are parameters will be discussed in characteristics of instruments. In types of error, we will discuss limiting error, guaranteed error, absolute error. Okay, and in unit and dimensions, we will discuss different methods to explain the measured quantity. Okay, so we start with some terms that are basically and repeatedly being asked in your exam. If you are writing the university exam, there will be a statement wise questions, define the accuracy, sensitivity and all, and there can be a true and false statement wise questions based on these very popular terms that are repeatedly and very importantly asked in your different categories of exams. Okay, so we start our discussion with the term accuracy. What does it mean by accuracy? Accuracy means how close the measured value is to the actual value of given quantity. Okay, if you are having a voltmeter, okay, and you are measuring voltage across a resistance or across a given node in a circuit. Okay, if for example if you are to test your instrument's performance, you are having a fixed battery of 5 volt, okay, and with help of your given voltmeter that you are analyzing, if you are getting the reading of 4.9 volt, okay, you can say your instrument or your voltmeter is performing very nicely, it has a high accuracy. Instead of this, if you are getting a reading of 4.2 volt, you will say your voltmeter does not have a high accuracy and there is a margin of large error in the measurement. Okay, so accuracy tells about the actual value, true value that we will say AT, okay, and the measured value will be defined as a AM. So true value, actual value is also known as true value. So how close the true value to the measured value, okay, is defined as the accuracy of the instrument. We can explain with one another example. You are having a resistance and you decode the color coding mentioned over this resistance, and you decode that this resistance R1 has a value of 200 plus minus 1 ohm. This notation reflects that this resistance is manufactured with the value of 200 ohm in the circuit, but it can have a variation of plus minus 1 ohm with reference to this base value. What does it mean? That this resistance can reflect a value of 201 ohm or 199 ohm. It can reflect a value anywhere between given these two range. Okay, so it can be 201 ohm, it can be 200 ohm, it can be 200.5 ohm. Any possible value will be reflected by this resistance in the circuit, and there is a possibility of change in measured current or voltage in the circuit. Okay, if you are decoding the second resistance R2 and you decode it as 200 ohm plus minus 5 ohm, then this notation reflects that this resistance is made for 200 ohm to add on the circuit, but because of the external changes in the circuit quantities or changes according to the aging of this particular component, it can reflect the value between 195 ohm to 205 ohm. Okay, so when you compare the R1 and R2, you can easily find out that resistance R1 will be more accurate in the circuit compared to the resistance R2. Okay, so lesser the error error means the difference between the true value and measured value. Okay, lesser the error, more your instrument is accurate. So accuracy is the measurement of the error when you are going for measuring a particular quantity. Okay, so next important parameter is sensitivity. Sensitivity of an instrument is a ability of instrument to reflect the very minor change in the input quantity. A highly sensitive instrument is able to reflect or to display the smallest change in the input. Sensitivity is technically defined as the change in output with respect to change in input quantity. Okay, for a highly sensitive instrument, there should be a large change in output with respect to a given smallest change in input. Okay, to explain this parameter, we will consider example of PMMC, permanent magnet moving coil. Okay, in this instrument you are providing the input as a input current, and at the output you are having a deflection unit that moves in an angular manner. Okay. So to define the sensitivity of PMMC, we will have a parameter S, that is degree per milliampere. Okay, it denotes how much angular displacement will take place with the change in input current, or whenever we are going to change the input current by 1 milliampere, how much angular displacement will change in display unit. Okay, for example, you are having two PMMC, unit A and unit B. Unit A has a sensitivity of 2 degree per milliampere and unit B has a sensitivity of 5 degree per milliampere. If you consider these PMMC, then you can easily find out that unit B is more sensitive, because with change in 1 milliampere your deflection unit will move from this to this. Okay, and in unit A, when you are going to change the input current by 1 milliampere, you are going to have a change in display like that. Okay, so output is changing by a large amount with a small change in the input, so you are defining the instrument as a high sensitive instrument. Okay, similarly, as we talk in the general day-to-day or routine language, that it's a highly sensitive person, a small trigger can generate a high output, is basically a sign of high sensitivity. Okay, so this is all about the sensitivity. Then comes a second very similar parameter, that is resolution, and students most of the time get confused with the sensitivity and resolution. Resolution is the smallest quantity that can be measured by the instrument. Okay, smallest quantity that an instrument can measure. Okay, quantity to be measured. At the end of this video, I will provide you a concise summary of all these technical definitions. At the end of video you can find all the definitions that will be helpful for your university exam, or you when you are making the notes of this subject. So please do carefully watch the video, and at the last of the video there will be summary of all the terms I have discussed, as well as if we are discussing some numerical pattern, then there will be some assignment problems also. So please do solve these numerical problems also. So when we continue our discussion, resolution is the smallest quantity that an instrument can measure. To explain the resolution with example, we will consider two voltmeters, voltmeter A that has a resolution of 0.5 volt, voltmeter B that has a resolution of 0.1 volt. What does it mean? If you are using a voltmeter A that has a resolution of 0.5 volt, your measuring units or measured units will be like that. Your readings will be 1.5 volt, 2.0, 3.5, 4.5, 5.0, etc. Gap in the readings or display will be at the minimum level of 0.5 volt. Okay, if you have to measure 8.2 volt with help of voltmeter A, this is not able to sense the input less than 0.5 volt, and it will round it off and it will display the value 8.0 volt. Okay, because this instrument is not able to sense or measure a change below 0.5 volt. At least discrete gap between the readings will be 0.5 volt. Second voltmeter is having a resolution of 0.1 volt. It means its displayed readings will be like that: 1.1 volt, 2.3 volt, 3.5 volt, 9.2 volt, etc. Okay, change in 0.1 volt can be sensed and displayed by this voltmeter. So if you are measuring 8.2 volt with voltmeter B, then it will reflect 8.2 volt reading. Okay, so you can have a better understanding that instrument B or voltmeter B that has a high resolution will give you more accurate reading when you have to sense the smallest change. Okay, so in voltmeter A, if we discuss the display unit, there will be like that. Okay, you will have 0 to 5. Let us consider that both the units are having the scale of 5 volt. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be the scale, and you are able to sense 0.5 volt. So there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and there will be option of 0.5, 1.5, 2.5, and the scale will be like that. Okay, and your pointer will be either here or either here, and you can take the readings at these gaps only. Okay, in the case B, you will have the display unit, because it's instrument with the high resolution. You will have 0 to 5 volt, 1, 2, 3, 4, as well as the readings possible between the 0 to 1. There will be another 10 subsections. Okay, and your pointer can be stable in between any of these subsections. So you can read 1.1, 1.3, 1.4. So in this instrument, scale will be like that, and in this instrument, scale will be like that. Gap will be 0.5, here gap will be 0.1. Be careful, by merely marking very close lines for the display unit, you are not going to design a highly instrument that has a high resolution. Okay, if you are changing instrument A's readings like that, you can't say that the resolution has increased. Okay, to make a instrument with the high resolution, you have to design, you have to fabricate the instrument that has high sensitive, very accurate parameters, that has very noise influence, and it can work very precisely. So then only you can increase the resolution of the instrument. Okay, so smaller the number in resolution, better the performance of the instrument. In sensitivity, higher the numerical value, higher the sensitivity of the instrument. Okay, next parameter is precision. Okay, precision means how close the readings when you are going to measure the same quantity over a multiple time. Okay, precision means how conformity of the readings, multiple readings of the same quantity. Okay, for example, you are going to measure a resistance R1. Okay, and with the instrument A you are getting the readings. R1 has a value of 100 ohm. Okay, you will have 5 readings with the instrument A, and every time you are getting 100 ohm, 101 ohm, 99 ohm, again 100 ohm, again 98 ohm. So this is the variation in the readings of the same quantity. Be careful, precision is the conformity of the readings or closeness of the readings for the multiple observation of the same given quantity. You are just assuring your instrument is working properly. When you want a conformity of the results, you go for the multiple readings, then you simply confirm the result. If your instrument is very precisely designed, it has a very high accuracy, then readings will be very close to each other. If instrument B gives the readings of 92 ohm, 105 ohm, 93 ohm, 100 ohm or 102 ohm. Okay, so instrument A has very less variation in the measured values of the same quantity, whereas instrument B has a large variation in the measured quantity for the same resistance. So you can define that your instrument B has a low precision compared to measuring unit A. Okay, basically whenever we are attempting our university exams, there will be a question, explain the term or explain precision, and there will be 2 marks questions. So first you will write down the technical definition, then you explain the parameter with help of an example. So I am explaining each and every term, so you can have a proper write up to score high in your subject. So this is the example. Here be careful, a precision or conformity of the measured quantity never says your instrument is highly accurate. For an example, you are measuring the resistance R1, okay, and you go for multiple readings. Once you are going 3276, First time you measure it 3276, 3301, 3294. Okay, your 3 readings are like that, but your measuring unit has a display or a reading pattern or display unit is like that. It has 2 significant numbers, or it displays the value in kilo ohm. Okay, so if your scale or your output display is like that, that reflects the measurement in kilo ohm, and there will be only 2 significant digits. So each time you will get the value of 3.3K. Okay, because display is in kilo ohms and there will be only 2 significant digits. So in 2 significant digits, each value will be reflected in 3.3 kilo ohm. So all the values, all the measurements are not same. Sorry, all the measurements are having a large variation, but your instrument is reflecting all the time 3.3K. So you are measuring different values, still display same. You can say your instrument is highly precise, it has a high precision, but high precision does not guarantee the accuracy. Okay, high precision never says your instrument is very accurate. If there is a less number of significant digits in the display, your high precision may have some errors, and whenever you are going to face such kind of statement that high precision always guarantees the accuracy of the instrument, it is never, because it does not have the sufficient significant digits. Okay, if you have large number of significant digits, you can have a proper correct display of the measured quantity. If you have 4 significant digits, each time it will be 3.276K, okay, 3.301K and 3.294K. okay. If your instrument has such kind of display that with 4 significant digits you are reflecting the measurement, all the readings will be different. Okay, so be careful while attempting such kind of statements, true or false statement. This is very repeatedly asked in the exams. Okay, next we will discuss linearity. Linearity means as the input is changing, output is honestly following up the change in input, and there is a uniform pattern over the scale. For example, if you study the input output behavior of the instrument, it will be like that: input, change in output, it will be like that. Okay, if you change the input by 1 millivolt, there will be change in the output by 1 milliampere or 1 degree change in angular displacement and all. Output is linearly following the input. Okay, and when you will design or when you will display this over the scale will be uniform, and it will be easy for user to record the readings, and there is a less chance of manual error in the measurement. In non-linear relationship, there will be input output behavior like this, and this will cause a non-linear scale. A small change is creating a high change in the output at the lower range, and after a particular range there is no change in the output, so you will have a non-linear scale. Okay, here be careful, non-linearity in an instrument never says that your instrument is less accurate. Only thing that comes with the non-linearity is a non-uniform scale, and there is a chance of human error while recording the readings only. Okay, so non-linearity is a desired parameter by the user so that it can easily sense or it can easily predict the output whenever there is a change in the input. Okay, and it also says if X gives the output Y, then if X gives the output Y, to have a linear instrument, Kx should give the output of Ky. If you feed K times input, your output also should be K times. There should be a linear relationship. Okay, if you are having input output behavior in a given instrument, there are many multiple times there will be in objective type questions, there will be repeatedly asked which of the following instrument is a linear instrument. Okay, we can consider y equals to x square, y equals to x plus 4, y equals to e raised to power x, y equals to sine of x, okay, y equals to 3x. Okay, multiple times or most of the time whenever we are attempting any competitive exam, they ask which of the following instrument is linear. We can easily find out if you make the input by k times, only this instrument have a output by k times. Most of the time students also select this instrument as a linear instrument. Be careful, this instrument is not linear instrument, because if you are making the input 3 times, then output will be y will be 3x plus 4, that is not equals to 3y. Okay, and here the input output behavior will be like this. If your input output behavior does not cross from the 0, you can easily find out this is not a linear instrument. Take care, many times examiners give a chance to get confused to the students, and they select a wrong answer. So if this kind of option is given, please do select only this kind of instrument, because making the input k times, output should be also k times for a linearity condition. Okay, so we can also consider if this is instrument A, this is also linear, this is instrument B, this is also linear. Just pay attention or find out which instrument is more sensitive. Okay, there can be statement wise questions, both instrument A and B are linear, instrument A and B are linear, and instrument A is highly sensitive, instrument B is highly sensitive. Then in these cases when A and B both are linear, how you can sense? Just make the change in the input. Okay, in case B you are getting that much output, or in case you are getting, okay, so for this change you are getting that much change. Okay, and for this change you are getting this much change. Okay, so you can conclude that instrument A and B both are linear, with instrument B is more sensitive, because same change in input is sensed by the instruments and B is reflecting high change. So if slope is very high for a given instrument, you can easily detect your instrument is having a high sensitivity. For a very small change in input, you are getting large change in output. Okay, this is basically possible type of statement wise questions I simply discussed for a further explanation of variation that can be possibly asked by you, asked by the examiner, to have a further more clarity. So I think these all parameters are clear to you. We will keep discussing the remaining parameters for the characteristics analysis of the given instrument. Keep learning, keep watching. Thank you.